what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Foot Candle Films. Film news and reviews from two guys who really like movies.
This episode is brought to you by the Foot Candle Film Society. For a schedule of upcoming screenings and membership information, visit the Society's website at www.footcandle.org.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Foot Candle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. My name is Alan Jackson. With me is Chris Fry, and we are with the Foot Candle Film Society and the annual Foot Candle Film Festival. And together, we are here today with Foot Candle Films podcast. Chris, yeah, we are here together. I didn't even think about that. I just actually totally did that.
I thought that was on purpose.
No, it wasn't. It was totally not on purpose. We will be reviewing the film together. So Chris was right about that. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And I was, each week after we hit stop on the recording, we say, okay, what movie are we reviewing next week? And I saw one film, which will not be named. And then I texted you and I said, you know what? If we wanted to watch together, I think that may prove for a more fruitful conversation. So I'm curious to see if my premonition will hold true, that we will have plenty to discuss with together.
That's right. So yes, we did have another film planned that we made a kind of a last minute switcheroo over the weekend. And so now we are going to be discussing the film Together. That is the Dave Franco, Alison Brie relationship horror film. Is that kind of a fair way to say it? I was really holding back on really wanting to see this movie, Chris. Yeah, so we definitely have to talk about this. I am not a body horror fan, so I knew that was a big element of this film, it seemed like, at least from what we were shown in the trailers. So I was very hesitant. We will see how we turned out. But the rest of the show we have in front of us, after our review of Together, we've got a couple of trailers that we're going to explore and watch for the first time that the two of us have kind of stumbled across and we're interested in films coming out later this year. So we're going to review, or not review them, but just talk about the trailers. And then also, I think Chris has a recommendation for us at the end of the episode, a film that we both recently caught up with, but I know Chris will be recommending it. I have some thoughts I can share on it as well. So that is our plan for today. Chris and I did see the movie together, which is a little unique, but we have not discussed it even after walking out of the theater together. So I'll be anxious to hear your thoughts. Chris, let's jump right into our review of Together.
I love you. Okay. What's going on?
I don't know. Since the move, Tim and I haven't been on the same page.
Please, do you love each other?
Maybe we're just complacent.
Imagine.
With his feature film debut, writer-director Michael Shanks tells the story of Tim and Millie, a couple who years into their relationship find themselves at a crossroads. They move to the country after Millie lands a teaching job as they kind of need the money, as Tim is a frustrated, struggling musician. Shortly after they move, an encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. Real-life married couple Alison Brie and Dave Franco star in this psychological body horror film as the troubled couple. Alan, with you being on record as body horror not being one of your, or being your least favorite genre niches to find yourself in, how did you fare with Together?
I did okay.
Okay.
I will say, and I've been a little impressed with the marketing behind this film.
Okay.
They have been a little adventurous with the marketing, which I think has been great. I think it's I don't know if you've seen, Chris, the they put out something online, like almost like it's a commercial for the film, but it supposedly like the text come up on screen saying that they hooked up these eye sensors to people in an audience watching the movie to see like their reaction. So it's these real close-ups of people's eyeballs and you're seeing their pupils like, flare or flare up at times. The idea is that if something like really crazy is happening on the screen, like they're reacting in their eyes.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like, I like that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, if you really want to market your film, find some creative ways to do it. Don't show me just more and more scenes from the film that spoil everything for me. I like the idea of like little gimmicky things to kind of help promote the film. It's great.
Gotcha.
So I like that, even though I'm extremely nervous going into this film because, yes, as you said, do not like body horror films. But the marketing and the premise and I don't know. And I like the two leads. I really like Alison Brie a lot. So I was kind of on board, ready to see what they put together in this film.
Okay.
And despite me not being a body horror fan, I did like this film.
Okay.
I did have a good time with it.
Okay.
It's weird. Am I kind of becoming a horror guy a little bit, Chris? Because between Weapons a couple weeks ago, this one, Barbarian, the other Zach Cregger film, I was a fan of. There's been some other movies lately that have been more horror films I've been like kind of on board with. So I think I'm becoming a little more of a horror guy.
I think it's the turn that A24 made where they said they made horror films, but they were not franchise intentioned.
Yeah.
It was just basically like unique idea. Let's explore this idea. And they do so through horror.
It's a little smarter horror films too.
And then Neon has now kind of said, okay, we'll take that ball and run with it as well. So I think some of the more interesting films that have come out in the last couple of years have tended to be horror, but it's not like guy with hatchet running around killing people. Like the whole point is something beyond making you jump in your seat, seemingly.
So I did like this film. I like this film for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's a pretty original idea, although we're not going to get into the background story.
Right.
Supposedly there is a lawsuit floating out there. I don't know if it's been settled or not or what, but a lawsuit about somebody claiming that they technically wrote this story and shared it with either Michael Shanks or somebody, and somehow that turned into this movie. I don't know. And again, I'll let the court of law decide that.
Right.
We're here just to review the film that's in front of us. And from what we saw, it was a pretty original idea. I like the two leads. I kind of bought their quote relationship, at least the way we're supposed to perceive their relationship for a majority of the film. I bought it. The scares were good. The body horror was not as extreme as I was expecting, which I think helped me a little bit too. So overall, I like a good original film that has enough scares to keep you on your edge of your seat, but also there was a little bit of a mystery involved that I think tipped its hand way too early and way too telegraphed. But still, I at least admired the construction of that mystery, so I was okay with it. I have two things that did not work for me in the film, but I'll get to those later. Okay. Chris, let me turn it over to you. What did you think of Together?
So, if I'm going to go see a horror film, I like for it to either be a A24 or Neon film, because then I feel like it's less going to be about making me jump in my seat and embarrass me because I'm like freaking out about something being scary. Body horror doesn't normally, but the trailers just seem like that was the whole point of the film.
Yeah.
But I think what, is clearly what they're going for here is kind of, a metaphor for codependency.
Yeah.
In a relationship. And I think they do a good job of trying to portray that on screen. And, I've heard, which I'm interested to see if this will be some of the talk back or some of the qualms or what, just concerns or whatever you have about the film. I've heard, we didn't review this the week it came out. We did Weapons, last week. So we're a little bit delayed in this review. So I have seen some reviews online. And there's some questions as to far as, some of the other plots that they kind of weave in here, if people feel like are a little wobbly, unsteady. And I won't say that they're wrong. Basically, I'll just throw out there's this idea of like a cult.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I knew that because, like I said, I'd heard that kind of going in. The way it's woven in, and I feel like for me, if I were just to go see a film about codependency, I'd probably find it very depressing because it's not, it can be very sobering subject. The element of horror in this, even though it's body horror, yes, a lot of it's gross, but I feel like it's almost done sometimes to provide a little bit of humor, kind of like, oh, codependency. How about this kind of codependency? They there's some jokes with it. They show some things in the trailer. There's a sex scene that is uncomfortable, but done kind of in a way for laughs and the resulting thing. So, and I feel like in a way it's done kind of a joke so that it's not such a slog. Yeah. And not such a, miserable experience to watch these two people that are suffering and maybe they'd be better together, not together. So I ended up, I think, being a little bit more charitable because I knew that concern going in. Whereas if I hadn't known certain things going in, I think I might have been a little bit more critical. And as it ends up, I don't know. I not that I think this is like Oscar worthy or anything, but I think it was worthwhile. Also, I will say, it made me think of two other films. One we've discussed recently, and one you and I have probably touched on, but we've definitely never given a formal review because it's a really old film. First one, Substance. Yeah. Because that's a recent body horror film that was taking on the depictions of females in Hollywood and how they have to maintain body image. So we reviewed it here on the show. Okay, so that one was immediately like a touchstone for me, and some of the ridiculousness of where that goes as well. So that was one thing. Then the other thing that I think I went into this film, and I'm assuming you did because you said Alison Brie is one of your, you really like her work and stuff. So you knew they were married.
Yes,
Dave Franco. Yeah. Okay. So as I did, and it's an interesting thing, which it doesn't distract from the film because in the way, actually, I wonder if it would have been more effective if it had not been a married couple, because then some of the awkwardness of some of the stuff would have been intensified. But I cannot imagine making this film because of some of the situations they get with. So, they're acting, I get that, but still some of the things that happen, it'd be like, it's pretty uncomfortable subject matter. But it gave kind of like a laughing, and I could not take it so seriously because I knew it's like, well, these people are married in real life. It actually gave me a sense of remove, which I wonder, did it help the film? Because then I wasn't as nervous, or would it have been more effective or definitely more cringe-inducing?
I think it would have been. I think it would have been a tougher watch if you didn't know or didn't understand that these two were a real life couple. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really think too much about it. So
okay. Yeah. You were too distracted by some of maybe just the body horror in general.
No, it's just the movie just kind of worked. It's like I think actually for the whole first half of the film, I'm really digging it. I think it built a really. It was paced nicely in that I didn't feel like it was kind of rushing to anything. It didn't kind of feel the need to escalate things too quickly. It's like it just built just enough of a sense of dread of what was leading to or what may be kind of coming. I think the background information about the Dave Franco Tim was his character. You get a little background on some family drama situations that I think were interesting. I actually think those probably posed even more of the quote scarier moments in the film. I think as far as some moments we got,
kind of like what's going on? Because you know what happened, but then you're like, okay, now what?
Well, it's interesting in that we get some flash images early in the film about some things, and those are kind of used for scares. But then there's a scene where we get some dialogue down in a cave where we start to kind of at least understand there's a little more to that story, and there's some pretty traumatic stuff that happened. And it's like, I don't know, that element was a little bit of a weakness for me, and that I feel like it was
maybe a little undercooked, maybe
a little undercooked. And also the fact that these two have been together for a really long time. It feels like
they're not married, but they've been together for like a long time.
Yeah, many years. It sounds like, and it just sounded like it just kind of came out of nowhere. It's almost like, oh, by the way, this really traumatic thing that has been like haunting me for all this time. Oh yeah, I don't think I ever told you about it, but here it is. And it's just it was a little convenient to kind of how just kind of rolled out there, and she's taken aback by it. We were taken aback by it as an audience, and it's like we're still not quite sure what all was going on there either. So that was a little rough. That I'll give it that. I thought that was a little rough. But otherwise, I was still really feeling this film. We get to a point late in the film. I can do this delicately. There is it's kind of building to a crescendo. There is a action that Millie, the Alison Brie character, has to take where she has to go back to someone's house to retrieve an item.
Right.
And this is where, unfortunately, I can just feel the writer's room or the place where the writer's sitting there trying to figure out, okay, how do I weave this information into this story? And unfortunately, this film decided to use one of these exposition dump cliches. In this case, it was information that just happened to be queued up right on cue on a TV set in a dark room to draw her attention, to get her to see what was going on. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, that is the laziest thing I can imagine of how you share this information. And so that right away, I kind of got a little ticked at the movie at that point. It's like, all right, that's to me, it's lazy. It's easy. It's cheap. But I think the film rebounded okay. I mean, once you got that information, I don't even think we needed that level of detail. I think we could kind of piece together what was going on already.
Right.
But I think the film ended fine. So I was ultimately okay. But yeah, that one scene, that one exposition scene, and then a little bit of the cave story with Tim's past. 2 moments where I just felt like, okay, you're just dumping this information on us because you need us to feel a certain way about these situations, but there's other ways you could have given us this information or we could have figured this out. But anyway, that's my hangups with the film. That was the things that I don't feel like worked. I wish I could say I came out more positive at the end than I did midway through the film, but those couple moves kind of threw me a little bit. So anyway, did you have any
Were you motivated to listen to the Spice Girls after the film?
I was not motivated to listen to the Spice Girls. There is a moment, yes, where Spice Girl, an album of the Spice Girls is being played. It has a kind of an emotional resonance with the scene, and it's kind of an interesting selection. You're kind of left wondering when they're putting the needle down, okay, which track are they going to play?
And did you see which one they played?
Well, I didn't see, but I mean, I heard the song, so.
2 is 1 or what? Yeah.
Was that the name of the song?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like their ballad. It's like their slow song, right?
Yeah, right. Really because it's some reference. Maybe that's not the name of the song, but there's some references to Becoming One or whatever. And so with the film, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, all right. So anyway, Chris, did you have any hangups, any issues, any things you thought didn't work with the film?
No, I guess, like I said, I went in with kind of just middle of the road expectations, and it was entertaining enough. Mm-hmm. Some of the things, and you mentioned, I guess maybe a little bit of a disappointment was that it tipped its hand pretty early on where things were going, but it still made the journey interesting enough.
Yeah, the journey was great. And again, I wish, I saw the clues they were dropping pretty early.
Gotcha.
And, I don't know if I was just being more observant and if some people may not pick up on them, and it might have been a little more rewarding kind of to get the reveal than they did. But I thought it was pretty clear cut early on. But yeah. But again, I wasn't watching the movie for that mystery element of it. I wasn't like, wanting to figure out. I was actually generally more interested in seeing what the mechanics between our 2 lead characters, like what was happening there. So I didn't care as much about the why. I didn't care much about like the background story. It's cool to have that in there, but it didn't distract me as much. I'll say one more thing about the film. So looking at it, I mean, yeah, I know I used the term body horror when kind of discussing, when I saw the previews and saw all the stuff there. And it really, it's a lot more implied. And even the scenes of, quote, body horror, I understand you got to use CGI to pull this stuff off. I get it. Okay, I totally understand. There's no way to show 2 arms fusing together. It's just not a good practical way to show that. I get it. CGI makes that work.
Right.
So a lot of it is some little CGI stuff. It kind of takes the edge off. It kind of makes it, to me, not as, it's easier to watch. It's not as
It's less realistic.
Yeah.
Right.
but there is a shot that they chose to put in the very end of the film. I'll just say things are building to a climax.
Okay.
The Spice Girls are playing. We see the Millie and Tim character together, and it's a full on like CGI
Right.
shot.
Right.
I didn't feel like they needed that. I felt like I really was hoping that the whole thing was going to be a pan away to the laptop, which they did.
Yeah.
But they did that a little too late for me. It's like, I kind of like the idea of like, I'd rather our imagination have gone with where this was all going. That to me is more horrifying than seeing a CGI representation of what they're trying to show us. Anyway, that's more of a personal preference choice. I don't think I would have wanted to go in that direction. I kind of like the idea of like a lot more of it being more assumption and more, your own vivid imagination of what's happening as opposed to feeling the need to technically show you. So anyway, I'm not going to say that's a problem with the film. It's just, it was a choice, and it was a choice I'm not quite on board with, but I get why they did it. So
Yeah, I think it was interesting enough for me, not being, not running out to the theater to see any horror film that comes out, but there was enough there that made it interesting. Yeah, over reliance on CGI. Yeah, maybe, but
a little bit more than I would have liked, but it did save me from having to
turn away,
put fingers over my face or my eyes for most of the running time. So yeah, overall, no, it's good. Look, it's no weapons. It is no, it's. I mean, there are people out there, some press kits saying it's the best horror of the year. No, it's not. I'm going to go ahead and make that very clear. As long as Weapons is out there right now, no, this is not the best horror of the year. But it's a pretty good horror film. And I think there's a lot more to chew on. And yeah, I actually think there is some interesting things to say about relationship and codependency and the nature of how well do we really know the people we're choosing to be together with. Yeah, I think there's enough there to chew on and talk about as well, while also being entertaining. Was funny. I think there were some genuinely good, funny moments.
Yeah, the crowd that you and I saw it with seemed to be, laugh at several instances. So,
which, was good. It's good. It wasn't unintentional laughter. It was like the film knew how to throw in some humor at the right moments to kind of keep you off balance. So overall, I did like Together. I'm recommending it. Sounds like you were also a fairly good fan as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad that we did review this film. So it sounds like we're both generally positive on it, and there was stuff to talk about. So that's always makes for a good time. So
I'll just ask you a question.
Okay.
And you can just give me a yes or no answer if you thought it worked. The final shot
of an opening of
opening door. Work or not work? And this is a subjective thing. I'm saying, the film again made another choice.
It did, but I was a little confused, not of who was inside the house, but who had come up to the door, because I'd forgotten that there was supposed to be a visitation, and I actually thought it was two people who were supposed to have been deceased.
Oh, no, it was.
I thought there was a photograph at one point where it was there, and I was like, wait.
Oh, just because they look similar?
Right. I mean, they're two older people who.
It was kind of mentioned a couple times, certain people.
Right, and I'd forgot. Okay. Yeah, and I should have,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, did it, yeah, it worked.
I mean, I totally expected it. As soon as I saw that we weren't going to credits,
you're like,
after one particular scene, I'm like, okay. And I saw the car pull up and them get out. I'm like, all right, I know how this is ending.
Right.
There again, the question was for me was going to be, are they going to show behind the door, or are they just going to let the door open and we're just left with reaction on the visitors' faces?
Right.
Either way could have worked,
Gotcha.
I think, but they made the choice they did. So be it. Gotcha. Okay. That is Together. That is in theaters right now. I think it was doing okay box office wise. I mean, it's been in the theaters for at least a couple weeks. We had to go see it at a 4:35 showing, which was the only showing. So that's not always a good sign for the film. It may be on its way out. So if you haven't seen it, I'd say, and you sound interested in seeing it, You may have to be in a situation of waiting a couple months to see it come out online. But anyway, that is Together. We are both positive on the film.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, when we come back, we're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, we have 2 trailers to play. One of them, a new Timothée Chalamet movie. I know we're all excited.
It's not Dune Messiah.
I know it's not Dune. It's another Timothée Chalamet movie that we will be giving watching the official teaser for. And then one that I know nothing about other than the title of the film that you gave me before the recording. So I'm already hooked in to the trailer just based on that. We got those and recommendation coming up. Stay tuned. You're listening to Foot Candle Films. We'll be right back.
Want to discover great podcasts or maybe even start one of your own? Welcome to The Mesh, Western North Carolina's podcast network built for creators and listeners alike. From local sports and business to comedy and culture, The Mesh is home to unique voices and fresh perspectives. Do you have something you want to say? The Mesh can help you bring your podcast to life with the tools, support, and platform you need to be heard. Check us out at themesh.tv, where great podcasts live and new ones are born.
Welcome back to Foot Candle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. Alan Jackson and Chris Fry with you here. We just had our review of the film Together, which we both were positive on. Not the best horror film of the year, but it's a pretty good entry. Again, making a good case, I think, for horror being really strong right now. And I think we've talked about this in past episodes, how just been some smart horror films, kind of original ones made in the last few years that I think have really helped the genre. And it kind of turned me in a little bit into a little bit of a horror fan. I got to admit, I'm kind of on board. There were a couple trailers for some horror films that before the film yesterday. And normally I would just kind of push them off to the side and say, not for me. That's fine. Thank you. But then there was one, Oswald Perkins' new film.
Yeah.
Looked interesting. And again, it's one I'm like, yeah, I'll probably go see that. It's like, that was not me a few years ago. So
Gotcha.
I'm happy with how horror's coming along.
Yeah, Oswald Perkins, like he's like the Steven Soderbergh of horror films. It seems like he's always worked. Like he finishes one and it's premiering and he's already shooting another one because he did the monkey and he did Long Legs. They did the monkey.
Long Legs and the monkey came out 7 months apart or something like that. So
and he's already got this one, which
and then this one's coming up soon. What was the name of it?
It was a one word type, so it wasn't Together, but it's something like Keeper.
Keeper, that's it.
Keeper.
The idea seemed to be following two members of a relationship, and both of them use the phrase, this one's a keeper, but there's more going on there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get in some other trailers. Since we're talking trailers that we saw yesterday, let's actually together watch a couple of trailers, or at least teaser trailers. I know at least in the first one. Let's talk first about the movie Marty Supreme, Chris. This is one that I've been very curious about. I have not watched the teaser yet, so we'll do that here in a second. It is an A24 film. It does star Oscar nominee. It's weird to say that. Oscar nominee Timothée Chalamet.
Yes. He
of A Complete Unknown. And then Josh Safdie as the filmmaker who did Uncut Gems. Now, right away, you tell me, okay, the director of Uncut Gems has got Timothée Chalamet in an A24 film. I'm like, all right, I'm curious where this is going. And, but here's the byline of the film, and then we'll watch the teaser together. And I want to hear your thoughts as well.
Sure.
So the film is the story of Marty Mauser, played by Chalamet, set in the 1950s penguin culture, which I'm not sure what that means. Do you know?
I don't know either.
This is all from Cinema Daily
website.
I don't understand penguin culture. I got to look that up. Telling the story of a young man with a dream that no one respects who goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. And supposedly sources have indicated that the project draws loose inspiration from the story of Marty Reisman, a professional ping pong player. And that's what we got.
Okay.
The cast is pretty good for this. Looks like we've got Gwyneth Paltrow. We've got Tyler, the Creator, in the film. Penn Jillette.
Oh, wow.
Fran Drescher. Sandra Bernhard. Abel Ferreira. Yeah. So
Interesting cast.
looks interesting. So what do you say? You want to watch the teaser for
Yes.
Marty Supreme? Great. All right. Well, here we go then.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty Mauser. I'm in the Royal Suite. I saw you in the lobby yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I never talked to an actual movie star. You know, I'm something of a performer, too.
Are you?
Yeah, you don't believe me?
I...
You what? What? You got the Daily Mail in front of you?
This is you?
Yeah, the chosen one. It's a nice picture, right?
All right. So that is the teaser trailer for Marty Supreme coming out this Christmas. What did I say? Christmas. And Timothy Chalamet in a Josh Safdie film. What did you think, Chris Fry?
So we have the Safdie brothers who worked together on Uncut Gems and A Good Time. They made several films together. Josh Safdie is giving us Marty Supreme. Benny Safdie is giving us The Wrecking Machine with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Mm-hmm. So interesting that both of them have are doing different projects, but both are sports related films.
Sports and kind of biography, kind of based on a real person stories.
Right. So I have to say, less interested in The Wrecking Machine. For me, and it's interesting the tone of the trailer, ping pong. Not something, yes, I've played it, not something I take seriously, but kind of the way they're staging this trailer. Even one of the lines in the film, or one of the graphics they show is like "Dream Big," and they're just the music and everything. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the Safdies are up to. Or actually, I guess
just this one on this one. Yeah.
I am interested, and it looks like kind of in a way, who knows, maybe not poking fun, but like trying to be inspirational, but kind of take an aspect of a sport that people don't take seriously. And I don't know, it has,
see, I can't tell.
It has an angle that I'm very, and the fact that I can't tell, I'm very
I can't tell. About. Yeah. I mean, based on this trailer alone, it's like, no, this is a inspirational sports biopic of a person. I'm just like, I didn't see anything challenging or interesting. Now, this may be an incredibly well-made film, but it's like, no, and it's like, even like I thought the ping pong, at least when I read the byline for this film and kind of read up about it and I saw who the talent was involved in the film, I thought, okay, so the ping pong is going to be something to carry the film forward, but it's not really about a ping pong player. But I'm like, you see the trailer, I'm like, kind of seems like it is. It's like, and I don't know where this is going. Yes, the trailer makes it look to be a very inspirational Oscar caliber, just
about ping
pong, which is, again, I mean, you look at, I hate using the Forrest Gump analogy, but I mean, Forrest Gump had ping pong as well. But same kind of idea, kind of a very unlikely person going an unlikely route and making a big, having dreams of where you wanted to be type of thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah. I'm still curious. I'm looking forward to it. I personally I'm the opposite of you. So I'm a little more interested in Smashing Machine because at least I can tell.
Not Wrecking Machine, Smashing Machine.
The Smashing Machine. Yeah. Because I can at least tell, I know what the film's going for in that. I feel like I've got something very real and raw. Here, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I hope it's a little surprising.
Which is why I bought it. Which is why I'm.
Yeah, I hope I'm a little surprised with where they go with this film. I hope so. So we'll see. Okay, so that is Marty Supreme. Yeah, coming out this Christmas. I'll be excited to see it no matter what.
The fact that it is coming out in the holiday season makes you think that maybe it is trying to go for more of the inspirational thing because, award season, that type thing. Or maybe they're just counter programming. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Be interesting.
All right. Let's check out this other trailer that you mentioned. All you had to do was say the name of the title and the two leads in it. I'm like, done. I'm in. Let's watch the trailer. The film is called The Man in My Basement. And the stars of the film are a Mr. Willem Dafoe and Corey Hawkins. Now, Willem Dafoe, I don't think I need to give any background on. I think everybody knows Willem Dafoe, and of course, been in many, many, many movies. Yes. Corey Hawkins, however, may be a little more I need to kind of explain to everybody. He was most recently in The Color Purple, the musical film version of that, and he played, I don't know what character. I don't remember his character's name, but pretty prominent character in The Color Purple. Really good in the film as well. And then before that, he did some other films, but kind of got his start in Straight Outta Compton, the film from 2015, where he played Dr. Dre in that 2015 film. And he was also in TV shows. He was in 24 for a season, and he was in The Walking Dead for a while as well. So, Corey Hawkins and Willem Dafoe in a film that sounds like a horror thriller film, Chris. So,
Okay.
Could this be continuing the trend? We'll see.
I don't know.
know.
I just heard of the trailer, but I haven't seen it. So
you have not seen
know.
it
I have not
either. Okay, I haven't either. All I've told from the write-up on the film is, well, let's see how I want to see how spoilerly this little summary gets.
Gotcha.
Charles Blakely, a man living in Sag Harbor, is stuck in a rut, out of luck, and about to lose his ancestral home when a peculiar businessman with a European accent offers to rent his basement for the summer. Okay, good. That's it. That's all I need to know on that.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that the peculiar businessman with a European accent is going to be Willem Dafoe. That just kind of sounds like you're describing him at that point.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Let's watch the trailer for The Man in My Basement.
Charles, we all been searching our hearts to be kind since your mom died. A man from the bank wants to buy your house and reclaim their debt.
I wasn't expecting to find any of this here. Keep these close to you.
If I'm honest, I really just need the money.
So that is the teaser, very, very teaser, for the film The Man in My Basement. Corey Hawkins and Willem Dafoe. Chris, your thoughts on seeing this very short teaser trailer?
Well, they did say or state on screen, which our listeners would not know because it's an audio podcast, that it was based on a novel. Yeah. Anytime I see a film that I was not aware of, but I know that it's based on a novel, that can bolster my interest because I'm like, okay, or it says best-selling novel because I'm like, okay, enough people like this book, thought it was good, so they think this would make a good movie. I'm like, okay, so that makes me feel a little confident about it. I do like the two lead actors, and from some of the visuals that are shown on screen, there's some masks that look very ominous. Yeah, it looks like something pretty interesting. Well, it could be a very stripped down, psychological horror. The point is not, blood and guts and gore. It's more of like, what is exactly going on here?
Here's the other side on the whole writing side of it. It is based on a book by Walter Mosley. The screenplay is by Walter Mosley and the director. So that's always a good sign for me too. It's like, all right, you got a book. The book is well liked or a bestseller. And now the actual author of the book is working directly with the director of this film to develop the screenplay. So everybody's kind of on board with it, which is always good too.
Sure.
You're not bringing in somebody outside to kind of write a screenplay based on your book and then trying to translate that to a director. I think this is a good setup. Now, whether it pays off, we'll see. But, again, I'm Mr. Horror Guy now. So bring it on. Sure. Let's see it. I think the date on this, I know it's going to be on Disney Plus, and I say Disney Plus because Hulu, even though Hulu is a film, it's a Hulu Pictures film. Hulu's kind of being absorbed into Disney Plus right now, where there's just going to be Disney Plus, and it's going to have the Hulu section of films. So yes, it is a Hulu original, but you'll be able to find it when it comes out on Disney Plus. I know it's confusing. It's weird.
So I wonder if it'll have a theatrical release or if it'll go straight to streaming. Maybe because it seems like a smaller.
I think it said at the end it was going to be in theaters also.
So it was going to have.
I think there was a little phrasing at the coming soon to theaters and Hulu on Disney Plus.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be released at the same time or if they're going to try to get a theatrical release for a few weeks and then push it online. We'll see. It just says coming soon. Don't have a date yet.
Got you.
Yeah, don't know, but
I don't see them pushing this for a Christmas release though. So either before then or maybe right after, like in January or something.
yeah, I'm still trying to look and see. Okay, I see September 2025 listed on Wikipedia as initial release. So
Okay.
could be in the next month or so.
Gotcha.
We'll see. Okay, so those were the trailers we wanted to communicate and share. Did we have any other news, Chris, or are we good on news?
I think those were our
That was it.
Those were our news items.
That was our news. So we're good to go to your recommendation now,
Yes.
right? Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Because it's also one we can chew on a little bit.
Sure.
Chris gives recommendations for films that he either recently catches up with or revisits or just wants to bring to our attention. Sometimes it's films that maybe didn't get as much attention and we want to shine a spotlight on them. But it's all whatever Chris feels like recommending to us, because Chris has excellent taste. For anybody who's not familiar or has not been following his recommendations, very, very good taste.
Well, thank you.
So Chris, what recommendation do you have for us this week?
So I'm going to recommend a film that actually came out this year. It is not streaming yet, but you can rent it at all the usual places you can rent.
So not streaming in the sense of like on a streaming service, subscription
Right.
service, but
Right.
you can stream the film or download it, whatever, by purchasing or renting.
Correct.
Okay.
It's digitally available on
Yes.
digital rental. Yeah. So it is The Materialists by Celine Song. We reviewed and talked about her other film, Past Lives, her first film. This is her second. It stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't
that
heard
guy?
from him in so long. So
The plot line is a young, ambitious New York City matchmaker, played by Dakota Johnson, finds herself torn between the perfect match, this would be Pedro Pascal, and her imperfect ex, that would be Chris Evans. A lot of, when this film came out back in, I think, early June maybe, I think a lot of people were wanting the trailer for this film portrayed it as being like straight up rom-com, romantic comedy, which was a shock to a lot of people's system because they're like, wait, Celine Song, Past Lives, and now you're like bigger budget. You have 3 big name actors and you're doing a romantic comedy. So I think that threw a little people off. On the other hand, I was lukewarm on Past Lives, and I know others, such as my co-host, who really liked it.
yes.
So going into this, I was excited because it was going to be something different. I will say, yes, romantic comedy, a little bit of a misnomer. There are some funny things in it, but it is more of a drama to me. And I say, most people are to Past Lives as I am to The Materialists. That's how much I really liked this film.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
It really, actually, with the opening, we just screened this for our film society, and it started, and I was like, I'm not sure this is the right film.
I did the exact same thing in our
Because I had
screening the next night.
a little bit of a panic, I was like,
I did too.
But it was an but then you start to see some people like making romantic gestures. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. And then that's the way that's brought back around at the end is nothing short of genius. And I appreciate in the film. We don't try to spoil things here on the show, so I'll abide by that. I'm not going to, but I appreciated the lengths that I think Celine Song, because she wrote this as well, went to not demonize anyone in the film.
Yeah.
You have, Dakota Johnson playing this matchmaker. There are times when you feel like she's pointing out her imperfections, but yet she does change and she does kind of realize some things that are going on in her life. And you're like, okay, so she wasn't being overly harsh. These are real people. Pedro Pascal, who could be perceived as the Richard Gere in this situation. He's got a lot of money, can do anything. But she could have made him very surface. But no, it's like,
He was a real person.
He's a real-
and
real
there was a
person.
little bit of depth to him too.
yeah. And then Chris Evans, I mean, as one of our screenings, the screening said in our discussion that we held afterwards, she's like, I mean, Chris Evans, who can't like Captain America? I'm like, yeah. Good point.
But they tried really hard to kind of make you not like him in a way, because again, they could have made him just the perfect guy. It's like,
Right.
he's just down on his luck. He's maybe not successful, but he's such a good, nice guy. It's like, no, he has a temper. He kind of loses his cool a few times. He
Right.
kind of is abrasive, but yet he also knows that. I mean, that's the thing, is the realization all the characters had. The Dakota Johnson character, and the first, somebody told me during our discussion, they said like the first third of this film they said was excruciating. And I'm like, oh, I know why, because it's so vapid. It's so, well, how much money does this person make? How much are they
surface materialism?
But once you start to see I think even the phrase that we use in our discussion was when the mask came off, it's like, oh no, these are all real people. These are all people that have their own hangups, and they're using some of this superficial stuff to kind of cloud that. And it's like, and then it just really started to work for everybody. So yeah, no, I'm with you. I really like this film too. I thought it was really good. I will say there was a revelation about the Pedro Pascal character that I thought was fascinating. And
it turns out it's a real thing.
Yes.
Someone in our crowd was like, oh, I know somebody who's had this done. I was like, seriously?
Did not realize that.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment in the film where, there's a revelation made kind of at night, seeing something on the other person that I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was being acknowledged. I didn't know what was happening until there's a confrontation in the kitchen later. And then it all kind of comes back to a much earlier conversation that was had. And again, it ties into this whole bigger theme of this film. And it's just, oh, wow. Okay. That was pretty good. That was pretty smart. I like that. And the conversation they had about it.
Yes.
Was what was really worked. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like it wasn't meant to be like some sort of shocking, like Dakota Johnson character is supposed to be confused or upset about it or whatever. No, it's like, oh yeah, okay. This is like a perfect analogy of like kind of what I've been dealing with my entire life. And it's kind of right here in front of me. And yeah, anyway, it was well done. It was very well done.
Because I felt like it was stretching, Sing Song was going into like a little bit of comedy, but was still like this relationship, which Past Lives is all about, like meant to be together, not meant to be together type thing. And this kind of took that, doubled down, and then expanded it. Mm-hmm. I am really curious. Past Lives I liked okay. She had this film and I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm really curious on this. I am even now more curious to see what she does with her third film because, she has me now as a fan.
Oh, great.
I'm sure she was concerned about that.
Yeah, she was. She and I talked the other day.
Okay, good.
She was a little worried. She was waiting to see your Letterboxd star review on Materialist. She was very happy to see. So it's good. All right. Well, that is Materialist. I think I can echo I will echo your recommendation as well. That is, as Chris said, available for rental online, I think rent or buy, but not available on a streaming subscription platform quite yet, but give us some time. It probably will be.
If you're one of those that really likes physical media, my understanding is that it will be released on physical media like DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, at the end of the month of August. So maybe after that happens, then like typical streaming through a service like Netflix or something would happen. So
yeah. Okay,
it's coming your way if you want to hold off, but we recommend it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is going to do our show for today. Chris, and we got a lot of things that people need to know about that we have going on or how to contact us, but just how can people reach out to us? And then let's talk about what we have coming up in just a matter of a few weeks now.
Sure. So you can send an email to info@footcandle.org. You can leave us a voicemail via our contact page on the mesh.tv website. You can follow us on Facebook at Foot Candle Film Society, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter. We are at Foot Candle Film. Al and I are also on Letterboxd, where we attempt to leave quick takes on what we might be seeing and keep track of what we're watching. Do us a favor. If you like the show, give us a star rating, write a review, share with friends, whatever service you receive your favorite podcast on, because it'll help us reach new listeners. We would appreciate that. 2025 will be a year of the 11th Foot Candle Film Festival, running from September 19th to the 28th. You can find out more information at footcandlefilmfestival.com. Get tickets, look at our lineup. Like I said, it's going to be our 11th year of doing the festival. It's going to be a good one. If you're going to be in Western North Carolina, you should come check us out.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you all there. It's going to be a great time. Good festival. Lots of information on the website about schedule and films and getting tickets and all that good stuff. So, All right, Chris. Well, that's going to wrap us up for today. We'll look forward to talking to everybody next time we get together. Till then, take care.
See you in the ticket line.
Watch films in the company of like-minded people in the dark. Watch films in the underground. We won't let anyone know where you are. The films that don't make it to Carmike at the mall, or ones that were famous when Grandpa would watch films out of the reverence of the heritage of an art. Watch films through the courtesy of Foot Candle Film Society.
Special thanks to Carpal Tuller for the show theme music. For more about Carpal Tuller, visit www.carpaltuller.com. You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.